going to look at in this video is we're going to be able to look more into about how we are able to fundamentally shift into different realities based upon our own coherence of frequency, of vibration. Adronis was actually talking about this last night in a private one-on-one session that I did with a client, and it was really, really fascinating. I wanted to kind of shed some more light, kind of in a human-based perspective, so to speak, relating to this principle. So one idea is that, well, what really is the nature of how we shift from reality to reality? What if I was at a job and I have Joe right here, and Joe himself is very upset. You know, I'm working at an office, 9-to-5 job, and I go for my lunch break and I see Joe there and he's just, he's steaming mad and he's basically, get out of my way, I don't want to talk to you today, I'm just pissed off, blah 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 blah. And so that becomes his sour grapes reality. And so I look at that, maybe I'm a little bit concerned now. I've known Joe for about 3 years, working at this office, and I've seen him with his real ups and downs. But you know what, I've always felt like I'm a very positive person. I've always felt that I've been able to attract really good situations. I felt that I've been able to really, start to make a great change in my life, a great transformation in my life. I see a lot of things happening and blossoming. Why am I attracting him? Obviously, he's quite negative today. I've asked the universe, please just attract positive people to me. That's all I want. I just want positive people. I don't want Joe. He's really, really PO'd today. I don't get this. Universe, why are you showing this to me? What's going on here? Why am I attracting this PO'd version of Joe? Well, the whole idea here is that the universe understands that you're moving more into a positive alignment. It realizes, it acknowledges that you have made that request. And so Joe is the catalyst for that shift. That's the whole idea. It's like, what do you mean? I'm a very positive person. Joe is, just the last few days, just really, really negative and, just very, very unpleasant to be around. But again, that's the point. It's an extreme. You have your positive aspect, Joe has his negative aspect, and they're clashing. Simply because you are the extreme of both fundamental sides of co-creation. So if he's way over here in the negative and you're way over here in the positive, you're two realities looking to come together. How can that be done? How can there be a symmetry? How can there be an equilibrium between Joe and myself? It comes into the nexus of neutrality. When you're really only looking to attract a positive life, when you feel that you really want to expand yourself, that you want to broaden your awareness, what is it that you feel you're attempting to connect to when you're going into positivity? It's not just the idea that, again, everything is rainbows and whiskers on kittens. That's great. But when you're moving into expansion, which is the point of why you're having positive energy, you're moving into a nexus of neutrality. You're opening yourself up into an expanse. And by being within this expanse, you're looking at Joe and you're seeing exactly, okay, well, Joe seems very sour. There's something really, harmful, obviously, that I sense in his energy. Something about his wife and him not getting along. Something about him struggling to make ends meet. So now that I see Joe very, very cranky like that, I'm going to intervene. I'm going to make something of an offering, a help, an assistance to him. And I walk over to Joe and I say, Joe, you know what? I've been feeling the last few days that you've been feeling, pretty down. Is there anything I can do to you? Do for you? We've worked together for 3 years, and I've always thought you'd be a really great person. I just want to know if there's someone you want to talk to, if there's someone who you want to be open, if there's someone who wants to listen. I'm that guy. Is there anything I can do to really help you? Joe is shocked. My God, you want to hear me? You want to talk to me? You're open? You want to listen to me? Oh my God. A smile comes on his face. What happened there? It wasn't about this at all. It wasn't about this at all. You were in the nexus of neutrality. And the neutrality brought you into a broader open field, an expansion, where Joe and you are no longer concerned about, oh my God, Joe's too negative. Or Joe's saying, oh my God, Brad's way too positive today, I don't want to be near him. Ugh. You've canceled that out, and you've come into this strand of the nexus point of neutrality. And now Joe is opening up. So yeah, you know what? I'm really glad you asked that. This is what I'm feeling right now. I just felt I needed somebody to talk to. I feel like I come to this office and nobody even knows my name. I feel like I come into this office and I just work on the spreadsheets. Nobody talks to me, and it's horrible. I'm so glad that you came up to me and talked to me. Yeah, I do want to share things with you. Thank you so much for opening this up. This is unbelievable. And something miraculous happens. It's because you have shifted into another particular reality. Here is the reality that was about the positive and the negative. Here is those positive and negatives coming closer together. And here is symmetry. And there is the nexus. And the nexus brings you into the core of understanding. You're open, you're loving, and you're listening. And that's how you shifted from a whole new reality. The reality of the positive and the negatives starting to come closer together, and then bam, hitting neutrality. You shifted through so many different realities to come in there. Your own state of being shifted you into another earth where you and Joe started to talk. And you started to create symmetry. And that's a whole new reality within itself. So it's not about feeling that if we're going to be positive all the time, that we're untouchable. That's an illusion. Now, I know this is what a lot of people are taught. Just be able to smile all the time. And if you keep smiling, everything's gonna be great. Oh my God, a dog is pissing on my leg right now, but you know what? I'm gonna keep on smiling. It's great. Oh my goodness, I flushed my wallet down the toilet today, but you know what? That's okay, I'm just gonna keep smiling. It's not about that. It's very nice, it's great, it's might as well be like the Joker, trying to have the smile like this all the time. But that's not what it's about. If you feel that you're just completely religiousizing, so to speak, the idea of positive energy, you're going to constantly receive the extremes of negative-based situations. You see, you yourself may be very, very positive, but you're forcing yourself to do that. You're not looking at the entire spectrum of realities that are contained here, right now. That there are going to be both positive and negative aspects. The whole idea is for you to surf in the stream of neutrality, to coming to both sides. It always comes back to the point of balance. It always comes back to the point of neutrality. When a person comes up to me and I can feel their energy, they're very, very, apprehensive. They're very, very, tight in the chest. And, it can be very intimidating. It certainly can. And I know I've experienced people like that have had, the really strong tightening, and, there's all kinds of these fog, this fog debris within their energy field. And it can be quite frightening, it can be quite intimidating. But then I have to look at myself and saying, well, was there ever a time where I felt like I was like that? Oh yeah. There are times where I felt I was very much contained in all this fog, and I didn't know where to go, and I was angry, and I didn't know what to do. So I put myself back in that place, all right? I'm feeling really good about myself, but I'm not going to cast away the negative, because if I'm doing that, the universe is just going to constantly say, okay, well, as soon as Brad experiences all the negative, he's going to push it away. He's going to throw it, get the hell away from me. It's all got to be about positive energy. It's got to be about this. And again, the universe is saying, okay, well, he's constantly pushing away these negative people, so I'll keep bringing him negative people, and so he can push them away. That's what the universe is doing. That's what you're telling it. Only bring me positive people. And if I only get positive people, then I'm set. I'm good. But what about the negative? Oh, nothing with the negative. Get the hell out of here. And that's that's where we become imbalanced. Because we start attracting these people, and it's magnetics. It's all magnetics. If we're vibrating at this frequency at a positive range, then we're going to start attracting frequencies of a negative range, because that's representing a condition within ourselves that we cannot harmonize. And you will always attract the extremes when you are not in balance. You will always create those waves to where they harmonize. Because what does the universe want to do? What is the universe? It's this. It is the nexus, it is the matrix, it is the isness of neutrality, of balance. When there are two extremes, it's attempting to bring them together, to create symmetry. But if we're constantly fighting that, then we're going to have these clashes. We're going to have two extremes that we cannot harmonize with. And reality from reality to reality will constantly bombard ourselves based upon these positive and negative scenarios that we just can't harmonize with. It's not about being positive. Again, positive is a great counterbalance. It's fantastic. If you feel very negative, you bring positive energy up until you hit the nexus. When you hit the nexus, then you're able to fundamentally look at both sides. I was here at some point, and I'm using positive energy to bring me here, to bring me into the nexus of neutrality. Just like what I did for my example with Joe. With Joe, I was able to share that open, that love, that listening. Love isn't positive energy. Love is the ability to be completely unconditional, to be completely open, to be creative, to be one with your own feelings. And let your feelings be your ally. Let your feelings be your guide. And you're listening. You're listening to everything Joe has said. You know, Brad, I just had this really horrible fight with my wife this morning, and again, I come to the office and I feel like no one's listening to me. And I said, you know what? I would love to be able to, help you out with you and your wife. Maybe I could talk to them. This is something that I feel I have a great talent for. And you know what? You have someone to talk to. You have me to talk to in your office. And now Joe starts to smile. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I know you met my wife, etc., etc. Maybe we can get together and talk. Sure, it'd be great. Fantastic. Awesome. And that's it. I didn't tell Joe to go on a spiritual quest. I didn't tell him to go into a cave and meditate for about 2 weeks. I just talked to him like a human being. That's spiritual. That is a spiritual nature, is when you're being able to love and listen. That's all spirituality is. That's it. You have love and you have listen. Everything else in between, your skills, your traits, your experience, your perspectives, are just window dressing between love and listening. One person asked to join us, what can I do to really, help a person out, to really feel that I can really, open myself up to them and really being able to give them the best advice possible? He said there's 2 words. One right here is love. The other one down here is listen. And that's exactly what it is. Everything else is decor. Everything else is window dressing. Everything else from your psychic ability, your extrasensory perception, your mentality, your growth, your experience, your skills, your traits, your strengths. It's all in here. It's like a treasure chest. Oh, let's see, what can I do? What do I got in between love and listening? And that's it. And if we kind of shut those off, then these don't really matter. It doesn't matter. You could be the most psychic person on the planet, and if you feel that you shut these off, it doesn't matter. You can be just as lost as Joe was. You can be overly positive as I was in that sense, in that example. But again, it's not about what's in the treasure chest. It's about your ability to have the traits to realize how you can open it. When you have love, when you have listening, you have the key. You turn that key, you open your treasure chest, this light comes out, and you have all these props. Okay, I'm a conscious matrix communicator. I'm a body regeneration healer. I'm a channel. So what? If I don't know how to love and I don't know how to listen, who cares? You know, that's the whole idea. That's how I see myself. As long as I see that I love and that I listen, then my treasure chest feels beautiful. I'm glad, I'm so happy, I'm wonderful. I feel amazing that I'm a conscious matrix communicator, that I can do body regeneration healing, that I can look into someone's Akashic records, and etc., etc. Once I look at the love and the listening quotients, when I have those two symmetries and it comes together, that's powerful. And that's how my reality is shifting. My reality shifts from polarities into wholeness, into the nexus of neutrality. And so this is something that you can look at yourself. You ask yourself those two questions. Can I love? And can I listen? If you can do both, you're right where you need to be. The universe is talking to you all the time. You can start talking to your desk. You can start going outside and start talking to the tree outside your place. You can start talking to animals. You can start talking to nature. You can start talking to other people on the street, even if they're not even having vocal communication with you. You're tuning into their minds. You're tuning into their thoughts. You're being very mindful of what you experience. This is, again, one of the biggest things that many spiritual circles forget to tell you, is the ability that it's not about this. This is really overrated, the positive energy. It's super overrated, okay? It's a great thing when you're using it to counterbalance. That's it. It's not about, oh my God, the power of the positive, the power of this. It's powerful if you need it to bring yourself to this. What's really powerful is this, is the nexus. That's what's powerful. That's what's wholeness. That's what's complete. You know, we might look at a nice shiny car and think that car is the shiniest thing, you know, the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. But then we start to look up and we see these valleys where everything exists, where there's cars, where there's beautiful nature, where there's beautiful houses, etc. It's a meadow, it's a beautiful valley. It just starts to expand itself infinitely. Now, what would you prefer? You want to look at that little shiny car? You're positive? Do you want to feel maybe you don't have one? Or do you want to look into the valley, into the meadow, and see all this infinite potential? By looking at both aspects. That's the key. Be in the nexus of neutrality. Shift your realities through the openness of your feeling, through love, and through listening. So, this will conclude the video on love and listening to shift realities. Thank you very much. I'm Brad Johnson. Through the love and through the listening of this video, I bless you. I send you much appreciation. If you have any more questions on this, please feel free to drop me an email, info@consciousmatrix.com. May it be well with you. Namaste. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.